good evening and welcome to Ballad Games with part 5 of the Ballad of Bardings, the One Ring adventure. And with me this week, shocker, the exact same people as the other 4 parts. I'll let them introduce themselves and their characters, and then we'll get into things, starting with Dan P, who is right underneath me. We have bunk beds, you see.
Sorry. I wasn't tickling upwards. Hi all.
At the moment, I just have a coughing fit and then fall over. So.
I really love the tone already. Evening all. I am Dan P, of Dan of the P variety, and I am playing Astanon, who is a ranger and warden of the north. He doesn't like shadow. As he is potentially in trouble this week, we'll find out if he's going to make it past the first 5 minutes.
It might do. Might not. We'll find out. And below Dan is Roger.
Hi, I'm Roger. I'm playing Robin Burrows, and also definitely not lowering the tone. I am the Hobbit treasure hunter who is hopefully going to survive by art of not being seen.
Hopefully. And across from Roger is Sigrid. By the way, we're all very serious people who play serious games. Now, other side, Dan. Other side.
Yeah, Fortunately, I am a consummate professional when it comes to... Who am I kidding? No. I'm just going to be held responsible for whatever these numbnuts do. Hello, I'm Ben. I'm
because you live here.
Daughter of Sigrid. And, my cousin's the baby king. My uncle was the dead king. My other cousin's the rebellious king. It's all getting a little bit Game of Thrones all up in here. And I've just done some beautiful diplomacy to smooth everything over. And then Dan's come along and started murdering people.
It's not been any official murders yet. But
not been any official. Yeah, but the worst part is I'm a really good archer and not a bad fighter, but I went to tea in a dress and didn't bring any weapons with me. So if this lot do end up getting us kicked out, somehow I've got to go and pick up my luggage.
Yeah. I mean, that might... They might just throw it after you in like a sequence with you all being thrown out of the city one by one, and then a big luggage crate.
Now, if I recall correctly, at very least the bow is with our elven friend.
Probably. Ithildir. Up top, Dan N.
Am I on top? Okay, sure.
Yeah. Across from me, technically the other way.
But on top of...
That way.
This is getting really complex in the way of positioning.
Yeah.
Moving on. Hi, I'm other Dan, and I'm playing Ithildir. He's a elf captain from Rivendell.
And is he a happy elf captain? Or is he a
No, he's quite miserable at the moment. Well, actually, he's not.
He is.
He's a little bit more Captain Mannering.
You have
though, isn't he?
6 hope points, and you also have 6 shadow points. So I'm pretty sure he's miserable.
Yeah. Fair enough.
There you go. So, great things are happening in Dale. When last we left, as Astanon was holding Farald hostage with a sword to his throat and 6 guards around him, Robin Burrows was attempting to break into Farrell's room, but found that there was something less than natural blocking his path, and he was attempting to find out what it was and how he could best overcome it. And yeah, guards were banging on the door at Sigrun and Ithildir, whilst Ithildir decided to diplomatically draw his sword. So we'll pick up there. Outside, the 6 or 7 guards, one of them still hammering on the door. and you hear shouting, and you're ordered to come out.
Out of where? Did we not just come out of the council chamber?
No, you're in your
we're
rooms
in
at
a
the
house.
moment.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
sweet. In which case, we've got all of our stuff. Nice.
It's near you.
Yeah.
Depends how quickly you come out.
Oh, crap.
Also,
What would we be
Aaron
doing this
Upchurch, I feel you. I have a respiratory illness. No, not that one. Well, fortunately, but it's still pretty fucking bad. And I've been ill for the last 4 weeks. It's getting better, I think. Maybe. Today I could stand up. No. So, what do you want to do?
I think I might just open the door. Hello, is there a problem?
Phil, did you want to charge past and murder everyone?
No, I don't want to charge past and murder anyone. I have got my sword drawn and my shield ready and my armor on, and I'm standing behind the human, ready
you
to
open the door,
defend her.
and one of the guard who was pounding on the door appears to be some kind of sergeant in the guard called Laffy. Says, we've been ordered to take you from here to other rooms. You'll
Other
come
rooms?
with us immediately. And sort of looks past you at Ithildir, and everyone freezes for a second, noticing a naked sword, and sort of hands start going towards hilts. Is there going to be a problem?
I should say there might be a problem, Sergeant. This is no way to address a member of the royal family. I may not be your current ruler, but I am a Princess of Dale, and I have earned the respect that I deserve. So perhaps you'll explain to me what's going on, or send that fella whose name I can't remember, who's the councillor who I've known for a long time, to explain this all to me.
Domar.
Yeah, him.
Laffy says, I'm afraid our orders come directly from the King's chambers.
Coming from the King's chambers are not the same as coming from the King. So I think we'll be waiting here until such time as someone with actual authority comes to speak with us. If you'd like to take this up, we can do that, but I would suggest not angering my guard here, for he is a doughty member of the elven blood.
Do you want to try rolling for it? See
You know what?
how intimidated they are.
Let's do it.
Go on.
I think I can try that as well.
You could potentially add to. I'll say, not wishing to siphon off any more of your hope. I will say, your drawn sword adds a success die. Well, an extra dice to Sigrun's roll.
Now,
As
my
you're very
distinctive
intimidating.
features include proud and willful, which I think both qualify here.
Yeah. That's
So-
great. If you want to spend a point of hope, you'll get
I
2
shall do,
extra
yes.
hope dice.
So, that's a persuade. There's a hope dice. There's a dice from a companion. And it's
Got a lot of re-rolls as well.
going to
Everyone
the...
wants you to win. No one ever wants me to win and murder you all and bathe
Thank
the
you,
world in
non-anomaly.
shadow.
Because the good and light will always draw out against the darkness.
So, there's a Gandalf
I'm more of a shade of grey at the moment.
with a 22
Are you though?
and a great success. Bish, bash,
Yeah.
bosh. Don't mind if I do.
That is a fantastic success. Laffy sort of draws back a bit, feeling a bit out of place. Clearly not high enough in the food chain to want to risk turning this into something that could ruin their budding guard career. Do you want to spend any of your successes on anything. You've got two of them, one of them, should I say. And you could spend that on cancelling a failure, scoring an additional success, neither of those really imply, gaining insight, going quietly, making haste, or widening your influence.
I shall widen my influence. Let's let all the guards know. Let word get around that you don't mess with the princess.
Yeah.
And then I'll close the door in his face.
Yeah. You sort of you hear a couple of sniggers come from the guards at the back, and you know they all sort of start moving away. Laffy leaves a couple of them to guard your door, but other than that, he rushes back off to the king. Well, to the royal court to find out what he should probably do, because he's a bit worried.
Yep, which will give me enough time to get changed at least.
Yep. Over.
Have we still got that rope to get us out?
The rope probably still hanging out of the window, yeah. That was always an option. You could have just disappeared.
We still can. In fact, it'd be easier now.
As we move over to Astanon in the streets.
Okay. So
Let me find the streets. There you go.
yeah. Look at this.
The mist that was already hanging rather thick over Dale seems to be sort of lowering and becoming more dense, and you can see the guards around you, but you can't see much beyond that.
What do my
There's sort of a
human
swirling
eyes
wisp of mist around your feet as well.
Astanon in the streets, Robin in the sheets.
Okay. So, like, how certain, given my history as a Warden of the North and fighting darkness and the fact I have Shadow Law, how certain am I that this guy I'm holding is responsible for all of this? I mean, we were fairly certain, but now I'm closer to him and have multiply resisted the shadow. How certain am I that this guy is the source of the shadow? Or at least a strong contributing factor to the shadow?
I will let you test your Shadow Law out then.
Okay, would that be insight?
Yeah. And if you want to spend a point of hope because you have Shadow Law, I will say you can gain 2 extra dice as well.
Okay, I will do indeed spend the hope.
Halfgrim is still shouting for you to release Domar.
I have a great success.
Great success. Just all the successes. You're all too good at this. It's annoying. Yeah. You're pretty certain. You're not certain whoever it is you're holding, who is, as far as you're concerned, Farold, but as far as they're concerned, Domar. You're not certain they're strong enough potentially on their own to be creating this massive blanket of mist, but they definitely, you've seen them perform acts of sorcery, or you've seen through their acts of sorcery, so you're pretty certain that they're involved with the shadow that is here, lingering over Dale.
And can I use my extra success to gain insight? Do I think killing him would help reduce the mist that is the darkness that's coming down right now? I.e., he's part of the problem in that he's one of many trying to draw power?
You're not entirely sure. You know he's definitely involved, but you're not sure the mist is coming from him. And obviously there's also the question, what does Farold know that could potentially help you to defeat the shadow?
I mean, I'm not probably going to get to question him, given that I'm surrounded by several guards.
There's lots of opportunities to attempt to escape as well, possibly.
I mean,
But,
I'm kind of half ignoring the guards around me at the moment,
Yeah.
and I'm just going to whisper into this guy's ear. You have one chance to tell me who is the shadow here? Who is assisting you? I don't have persuade in any way, shape, or form. I'm just being a ranger that's scary.
Seems fair enough.
I mean, at this point, he should know that the threat of death is a real threat. At this point, it's not like there's no hidden sort of agenda or message or.
I'll let you roll.
Can I roll
persuade
awe?
as
Is awe?
favoured.
Or would
Oh,
might
yeah,
make sense.
or yeah.
Can I
all's a
do
good
awe?
one.
Because I'm trying to
Yeah.
use it in a military
Scary
sort of
way.
I've got scary way.
Yeah.
So let's go with that. Okay. I'm okay. I'm okay at awe. Hey! I scared him.
Success.
Or maybe scared him. I don't know.
Don't think you necessarily scared him, but he is concerned that you're going to stab him at some point. And his eyes are still firmly focused on the guards ahead, but he whispers back to you, "There's only Farrell here."
At that, I push him slightly forward and plunge my blade through his back into his heart. Darkness
For
and
the
shadow.
record, everyone, he stabbed first, not me.
That's because the door got closed before you could stab anyone. I'm hoping that the shadow is gonna like disrupt, because that's how shadow normally works when the wardens go around killing stuff like this. So he's gonna hope that the shadow's gonna dissipate and the guards are gonna regain some sense, or I'm gonna fight my way out. But one way or the other,
Yeah.
I slightly push him forward and drive my blade through his back and through his heart.
As
Go
you
back
push
to the
him
shadows.
forwards, can you give me a... Wait, which one is it?
Is this the One Ring version of roll initiative?
Yeah,
Nah.
this is valor, isn't it, or wisdom?
Yeah.
Is it valor?
One
Am
of the
I
two.
doing the anti-corruption thingy again?
Wisdom.
No, it's an anti-magic thing. He's going to try and bespell you.
There'll be no bespelling today. Have I got a thing that helps me do these things? I'm just looking at my talent.
Could use hope to.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely using hope. But I think I've got. Is this
Distinctive features.
your distinctive feature? You get 1 dice on shadow. This isn't a shadow test, I assume.
Yeah.
It is a shadow. Okay, I
It
get an
is a
extra
shadow.
dice because it's a shadow test. Okay.
There you go.
But you get that without the hope, so you can spend hope to get an extra.
Yeah, I'm
extra
gonna
dice.
spend a hope. I'm gonna spend a hope dice as well. As a Gandalf, I will not be corrupted by this darkness.
Well, don't know about that. You still pick up 1 shadow point.
Yeah, I've passed. That's outrageous.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm okay with that.
Imagine how much worse it would have been if you hadn't.
Yeah. Well, then you'd have picked up 2. But as you push him forwards, his hand slides across your arm, and you find yourself struck momentarily still. And your sword is reaching out, but you're just sort of standing there, and you can't find the effort to plunge it in.
I'm outraged by this outcome. I wish to resist this in every way, shape, or form.
Well, you tried.
Got a success. That's outrageous.
But it wasn't enough.
Hey, someone sing a
If
song.
it had been a success and a 6, you could re-roll it if you want.
Got the reroll.
Oh yeah, sure. Why not?
Got 2 rerolls.
Let's go. Let's aim for that 6. Oh, I'm not gonna put that because I'll use up another.
What are your distinctive features? Because if it applies, you actually get 2 dice.
Ah!
There you go.
Oh, extraordinary success! You got 2 sixes
And
And a Gandalf.
Nice.
and a Gandalf.
Oh,
as your arm freezes, but only for a split second. You don't pick up the extra shadow point, by the way. So you can drop that back down again. And you
I'm a warden of
stab
the north.
Domar / Farrell straight in the heart. And he drops to the floor, dead.
Does
Now,
anything Does anything happen, or am I taking a defensive stance?
Flip, do a
What-
backflip into
what-
the fog.
Mostly happens is as he falls to the floor, the mist the thick mist swallows him up. So you can see there's a corpse on the floor, but you can't tell who it is. So as far as the guards are concerned, you've just stabbed Omar. And swords and spears are being pointed at you angrily.
And then I will take a defensive stance, and I will hope that the mist clears shortly and shows us who's actually dead on the floor.
I will say if you kill any of these people, you will be picking up Shadow.
Yes, I appreciate that. I will try to land definitely blows if they try to attack me.
As they sort of start to move in around you and you shift into a defensive stance, in the distance from the walls of Dale, you hear the trumpets of horns blowing, long horn sounds, the word for which I cannot think of at the moment. Go painkillers. But that is then taken up by the bells of Dale itself, and either something momentous is happening outside, or potentially Brand has returned with his army.
Hopefully the guards are now going to be busy doing something else.
Well, they seem to be slightly distracted, but they're still very focused on not letting you run off into the night after stabbing the king's advisor.
That's fair.
Robin Burrows, you're still outside Farrell's chambers and attempting to find a way in.
Yeah, I was doing that while that whole commotion was happening.
So you know that the door itself is in some way barred from you by unnatural means.
Yeah, so I was gonna, because I know there's like a magical protection-y thing around it. I was gonna use my magic ring to see if I can figure out a way in.
There's no potatoes in there.
Well, it's a wondrous thing. It can tell me where there's a lot of things. I just mainly use it for potatoes.
Yeah.
It's its
So you're
primary
going to
function.
use the magic ring?
I am going to use the magic ring.
Do you put it on, or how do you use it? Do you just hold it out in front of? How does Robin usually use
Put it
the
on.
ring? Yeah.
Right up his nostril.
Kind of rub it on his lucky potato and then put it on.
Gets it into the nostril and then turns it sideways and he sniffs through it and he can smell potatoes.
I can smell
Just-
potatoes.
Just snorting dehydrated potato.
You put it on, and unlike other times before it, where it's usually just sort of giving you a sense of where something is or led you to it, your eyes almost move. The room itself, or the hallway you're in, narrows down, and your eyes sort of move towards the door, going almost through it. And on the opposite side, you see a small statue that makes you want to turn your face away, with ruby red eyes staring straight at the door.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Yeah, you can you could roll for valor on that as well if you want.
I don't want to.
Well, I'll let you anyway, just
Aw.
just to see how it works.
I don't want
Yeah. It's also against a shadow of 2.
Oh, bloody hell. Alright.
You have seen it. 2 tiny eyes,
excellent.
lidless.
I tell the shadow
Glittery.
to go F itself with an extraordinary
Yeah,
success.
you managed to peel your eyes away and
See, that's
sort
why I
of
rubbed it on the lucky tater first.
pull the ring off before these ruby eyes stare into your soul. But whatever it is beyond the door is something unnatural, and it's that is barring your way.
Okay,
From
can
the
I
door.
try and go in through a window?
You can. You'll have to climb out of the window in the hallway and along the sort of turrety area and
That's fine.
scramble up. And we'll let you roll for that as well.
But so good at that. You'd be fine.
Yeah. You'll be fine unless you fall.
Is this
It's
stealth? 'Cause
pretty
I'm trying
high.
to do it really quietly.
You're fairly high up. And
Beacons
the
are lit.
winds are lashing around you.
Is
So
this
don't
stealth? Because I'm
fall.
trying to do it slowly and quietly.
It depends on how you want to do it. Do you want to
Yeah,
particularly attempt to sneak across?
I'm trying to be
or-
quiet. I don't want to be
Yeah.
seen doing this.
Okay. I'll let you roll stealth. See, I'm too nice to be the shadow, really.
Alright,
You
I'm
should
gonna
all
use-
just let me win.
I'm going to use a reroll.
You fall and die. Wow, that was a...
There we are.
Pretty
Great
good reroll.
success.
You had an
So I
extra
will
dice
use
on
the
the
extra-
reroll.
Why did I get an extra? Oh, well, the last one was a 1 anyway, which
Yeah,
won't
it
affect
doesn't
anything.
Yeah. Okie
I don't know
dokie.
why I got an extra one.
So initially it feels like you're sort of scrambling along the outside of the window, climbing across this stonework, and your fingers feel like they're gonna slip, but you just manage to put your foot down on the ledge to the window to Farrell's chambers, and
Tiny little grappling
scurry
hooks
yourself
plaited into your
across.
foot hair.
Is that how hobbit feet work?
Spider Hobbit.
And as you peer in, you can see sat upon the table is the little statue that you still don't really want to look at straight on. It seems it's a black obsidian thing, but its eyes or face is pointing directly at the door.
Okay, I will climb in through the window.
Yep. You climb in, and aside from the statue, you find fairly normal looking chambers with a bed, a few personal effects, some paper and things to write on and to write with, and just the normal kind of things you might expect to find, and a few cupboards and chairs and the like.
Okay, I'm going to start searching for incriminating evidence beyond the statue.
Yeah. What are you looking for exactly?
Well, things like journals, anything that would indicate, evil apart from the terrifying obsidian thing.
Dear Evil Diary, today I took command of the king's mind, lol.
Exactly, that sort of thing. Incriminating evidence.
Yeah. Okay. In that case, you can roll for that as well. Which...
Awareness?
Um,
Or explore, scan?
awareness or probably scan, I would say. Awareness or scan.
Okay, I'm going to spend a hope and use keen-eyed to give myself 2 extra dice. Great success. So I guess gain insight to find evidence?
Yeah, you sort of start rummaging through Farrell's cupboards, pulling things out, and you find all sorts of not very interesting pieces of paper to do with the normal day-to-day running of Dale. And then your hand, as you're sort of reaching towards the back of the cupboards to see what else is in there, touches something that feels icy cold. And you pull it towards you and find and pull out jewelry in the shape of an iron mark that you don't recognize, but that feels
Bad.
like, yeah, it's
Feels
probably
like
bad.
Okay, well, again, I'll kind of stuff that
And
in like a little pouch, so it's not...
With it is a little piece of paper with some scrawled words on it in a language you don't understand.
That'll go
That
in
looks
the same.
like very angry elven.
Okay, it could be Ithildir's. Okay, I'll stuff it in the little pouch.
Yeah. As you do that, you hear little whispers in your
Ashnags,
ears.
Skibbertal?
Yeah, very much like that. I was going to say Ben can give you an idea of exactly what.
Skibbat.
I'm also gonna, without touching it, throw like a blanket over the evil-looking statue thing
Yeah, probably a good idea.
because I don't like it.
The moment you throw a blanket over it, you feel a sort of heaviness to the room die away.
Was it an icon of the bogeyman?
Okay, I'm gonna leave that where it is because I
Yeah.
think we need some evidence in the room as well as what I found in there. And
Yeah.
I think that will help our case to have some evidence in hand and some in the room. So I'm gonna
Okay.
I'm gonna slip away quietly.
And as you're slipping away, you hear these horns across the walls blaring, and then the bells of Dale tolling. And coming back around to Sigrun and Ifildir, you hear the same thing. And you see from the window, you can see, aside from the 2 guards stationed outside your door, you can see bunches of guards rushing, presumably towards the walls.
I'm going to run. I'm going to open the door, actually. I'm going out the door. Right, you two with me. We're going to the walls.
But we were told to...
Well, I'm going to the walls. If you want to watch, you best come with me.
Right. Oh, straight away. And they sort of just fall in beside you.
Ithildir, who's been looking his usual kind of
Happy self.
morbid self, happy self,
Yeah.
smiles ever so briefly at this encounter and follows after.
You gain a point of shadow for smiling now.
Schadenfreude, that's a point of shadow.
No, yeah. You march with the guards towards the walls.
Yep.
And notice that the mist inside the walls of Dale is a lot thicker than it was earlier when it started first picking up in the streets. And as you get to the walls and climb the ramparts,
Having had enough time to change and put all my proper kit on.
yeah, sure, you can see before you the host of Brand out in the Dale of Dale before the walls, and a couple of riders are coming up towards the gateway.
Watch them approach. See who it is.
It appears to be just heralds of the army, and you hear the exchange go on.
Oh, they think
As
they're having the exchange without me. They are very mistaken.
As they
I will
cry,
absolutely push my way to
"Why
the front.
is Brand, son
I'll
of
help
Bane,
push.
and his heir being barred from the city of Dale?"
Who's
And,
on the gate?
just more random sergeants trying desperately to understand what they're meant to be doing. Halfgrim is currently busy dealing with an assassin. So,
Oh,
you know.
shame. Right, stand down, you men on the gate. Heralds, I greet you in the name of Dale. I'm Sigrun, daughter of Sigrid, cousin to Brand. And what's the other one called again? It's been a while.
Ambara.
And Bara, cousin to Brand and Bara. This is an awkward situation we find ourselves in. I'd like to speak with my cousin, if I may. He has my writ of safe passage.
Yeah.
And if any man on these walls takes action against him, I'll kill them myself.
And I will help.
You both gain chat now.
Haven't done it
typical
yet. I
humans.
just said I'd do it.
Yeah. The sergeant next to you says, but we were to bar them
And they are
access
barred entry.
by
They're coming to the gate.
by order of Bara.
And
the
I'll go
king.
down with them.
Oh, okay.
So you
And
fetch a rope,
the
rope ladder.
herald shouts up, Brand is currently making camp here in the Dale. He will gladly meet with his cousin.
Fine, I'll come down to you then.
They'll let you out of the gate.
Ithil dear, find the others, make sure they're okay.
Ifil dear, be a dear.
I'll meet you back here. There's still a way we can diffuse this whole situation. Because I don't know what Dan P's already done. So I've spoken to one king, and as far as I'm aware, I've defused the tension a bit there. I'm going to go talk to the other one, do a bit of defusing there.
Yeah. In the meantime, Astrodon's fighting the entire guard.
Find Astalon, find Robin, protect them. I'll go and see what I can do out there.
Are you certain?
I'll be fine.
I go.
The heralds, well, one of the two dismounts from their horse and offers you their horse to ride back to the camp on.
You're very kind, thank you.
And they will take you to meet Brand, the eldest son of Bane.
Still not 100% sure this is the best plan in the world, but we're rolling with the punches and seeing what happens.
I'm really glad you're all split into little tiny groups of individual people.
It's what they did in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Be glad there's not 9 of us. Poor
Hey,
Tolkien.
you
Imagine
always
GMing
split the
9
party.
separate people.
Yeah. Oh. That
Well, it becomes 8.
yeah. I mean that you have to kill a character off then, don't you? Just to get the numbers down.
Sorry, Boromir.
Yeah. Eat some arrows. So yeah, all of you get attacked by 50 orcs now, individually.
More XP.
Ithil, dear, what are you doing? Are you going off into the city to find the others?
I mean, indeed, I will be. I will leave this poor mortal to his own devices.
The sergeant is much like Lassie, looking rather confused and hoping that this all goes away without him having to do anything particularly violent or requiring any kind of decision making on his part. Because this is a strange situation, to say the least.
Yeah, you got to be a captain at least to make this kind of decision.
Yeah, precisely. Talking of captains, Ithildir, you managed to find yourself approaching from behind, as you can see through this strange mist that has fallen down on the place. Halfgrim, captain of the guard, who seems to be gathered with the rest of the guard around Astanon and some corpse lying on the floor. Astanon is sword out, I presume, in a defensive stance.
Yes. Trying to look at as little as aggressive as possible in this given situation.
Whilst holding the blood-dripping sword
Yeah.
of the king's advisor.
I'm not the aggressor here.
Are they all paying attention to Asnon?
They are.
So Asnon probably see me, but they're not looking at me.
No, they're all.
In which case, I will stay where I am. Sword, shield up. Sword is drawn, but behind my back, relaxing it there. Just waiting for Asnon to make the first move.
Astanon, what is the first move?
Talk to them.
Damn it! What is wrong with these mortals?
So he declares himself. I am Astanon, a ranger of the north and hunter of shadow. This man who lays before me is a creature of shadow. He is one of the ones that are responsible for this mist in your city. Please, I have no quarrel with yourselves, and I do not wish to harm you. Lay down your weapons.
Mist in the city? I mean, you murdered Domar, the king's advisor.
Can I roll the body over? With my foot, I'm not going to be yeah. Can I roll the body over?
Yeah, you still can't really see who it is under this thick mist that is along the floor. But you can try and roll it towards them.
Yeah, I'm going to roll it so it's face up instead now. Because I'm guessing he's face down from where I've kind of flopped him to the ground. Can I kind of use my foot to whiff away some of the mist, As I roll it, He's not sure what to do in this situation. Examine the body for yourself, so I will remain further away, so as not to harm you.
I think you'll have to convince them of that.
Further away, beyond the Misty Mountains.
Yeah, I run into the doors. I mean, like I said, the only persuasive skill I have is awe. I don't have any of the other ones, so...
You can try not awe, unless you're really trying to intimidate them, which might go quite badly.
I'm not trying to intimidate them. I'm simply declaring who I am.
Try to persuade them instead.
Sure. I mean,
Believe, Dan.
Unless it's a Gandalf. No. Persuade is not a skill that Astanon has.
Halfgrim cries out to you, "Stay where you are and place your weapon upon the floor.
I will do no such thing.
Strange words will not help you here."
Can I appear at that point?
Sure. I mean, let's add everyone and turn it.
How could that make the situation worse at all? I mean, come on, it'll be fine.
You can come from over here.
If I might interrupt, sirs, that fella that he just oh dear, he looks like he fell down. He had all this bad stuff in his room.
You just openly admit you broke into a guy's room.
No, I just, the door is open.
How did you find yourselves in Domar's chambers?
Well, he were looking right shifty, that sort of fella.
It's not Domar.
It's not Domar, it's Ferald.
I don't know who he was, but he was looking right shifty. I thought he might be up to something. So, given my mate's the princess, I thought I should do her a solid and go and have a look. Sure enough, he's got all this weird shit in there. You should see it. Don't pick up that blanket, though. That thing under there, fuck me, it's absolutely mad.
Hobbit with a potty mouth.
Wow. Never has there been so much swearing and talking. Halfgrim looks at you and are you showing them the stuff you found?
No. I'm just gesturing into the room that there's very bad stuff in there.
you've sort of you've come away from that hallway now, so you're like in this central court bit, but you're gesturing
Oh
down
yeah,
towards.
I'm sensible enough that when I will have appeared to people, I will be standing near the heavily armored elf.
Giving away my secret position, standing right behind them in blatantly obvious area.
The elf is coming from the opposite side.
Oh, okay.
You're sort of
All right.
over here.
I'll be somewhere where I can run away.
Yeah, you could run. You could run away from. Halfgrim turns to Nari and says, "Take the small man into custody as well."
Oh, no. Like I said, if you just have a
believe-
have a look in there, you'll see what I mean. That fella was doing bad things to your king.
It will be best for all of you if you place your weapons upon the ground and come with us.
I think that
Calmly
timing might be quite bad. You heard
and-
the horns. Can I try and persuade him to not arrest us?
You could try, but I don't think.
I'm going to use a hope point to use my rustic charm.
Yeah. I will say, even if you succeed, they're not going to be convinced not to arrest you. They'll just be delayed somewhat in. It's very hard to convince someone not to arrest the person who just murdered the
Well, I
king's
haven't
advisor.
done any murdering.
Yeah, but this whole situation has become strange and suspicious to them.
Unfortunately, he is a captain and can make those kinds of decisions.
Yeah. And his decision is, this is strange and suspicious. We should arrest them all.
Just a regular success with all those dice.
Got a reroll.
He says to you, "Hold where you are, halfling."
I'm going to kind of toss the pouch on the ground and go, look in there. That was in there.
He gestures towards Nari, who steps
I will-
forwards and
Yeah, I'll have thrown it at his feet, not near
sort
me.
of, uses the butt of his spear to push it open a bit, see what's inside, and then looks back strangely and kind of casts it over with his spear as well.
Some
And
kind
that-
of weird, angry elvish.
Halfgrim looks in it and turns to you and goes, "How did you come by this?"
Like I said, the guy were looking right shifty, so I went in there and had a bit of a gander around. I found that, but there's also this really weird statue that I didn't want to even touch, so I just threw a blanket over it.
Is
Darkness
it
and
not more
shadow,
likely
Captain.
that you are agents of the shadow?
Like
Who've
I could pick that bloody
sow
thing up.
discord.
The bridged version.
You didn't need our help doing any of that. Look at the fight going on that's likely to come outside. You're trying to start a fight between two brothers, aren't you?
Also, I think the captain would notice the visible anger on Astanon's face at the accusation that he would even remotely consider serving the
Yeah.
shadow.
Is Ifildir gonna do anything at any point?
Stand at the back
No, no,
looking
no.
a bit guilty.
Standing there being like, "I'm gonna wait this one out."
So I'm the backup for when this inevitably all goes wrong and humans decide to kill each other like they always do.
Uh,
You don't
I
get
mean,
any
a
hobbits
shield
working-
barge from the back there would give them enough time to actually let Astanon run away, wouldn't it?
You don't get any hobbits working for the shadow, and I didn't see any elves working for him neither.
You know, last time I
We
popped around
don't-
his house.
we don't know who or what creatures work for such dark powers these days.
Like that dickhead down there did. I'll say, pointing at the guy on the floor.
It would definitely be best for you to come with us.
Captain,
And
look
we will
at the body.
examine the situation.
Well, you tell one of your fellas to look in there, I'll say, pointing
Yeah.
at the room. But don't get too close to that. I would use your big, I don't know, what you call it, pole thing.
He points over to Thorold and Liff and says, "You stand by the ranger and I will examine the body." Ranger.
I take a step back and sort of lower my stance to a
Yeah.
more passive stance. I haven't put my sword away, but it's a more passive stance in that I clearly showing that
He's
I'm not going
gonna
to be
ask
aggressive.
you to put your sword down.
Okay. He does, but he's going to put it on his foot so he can flick it back up if
Yeah.
he needs to.
Okay.
So
That's
it's on the
fine.
ground, it's down, but it's resting on his foot. So should one of them attack, he's going to flick it straight up and pick it back up again.
With a fanfare.
Yeah.
It'll be a bit of a if you do that, yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't know, it might be a bit more evil if he then uses it to cut his head off.
Yeah.
Oh, lost it
Oh
down.
no. Yeah. So Lif and Thorold come to stand side by side with you. Let me just move people around again, because Dan.
I assume they don't get too close to me, though. I assume
They're
they're not
sort
getting...
of they're
Well, I mean, they've got to be pretty
well,
close
they've-
given
they've
you're next
got-
to the body.
Well, they've got pole arms, so they don't need to
yeah,
be as
they've
close,
got
do they?
spears, so they're.
But that's
sort
what I mean.
of
I imagine they're
spears
keeping
length.
themselves out of my sword.
Yeah,
range,
to the
yeah.
side, each side of you, and Arthgrim is approaching the body, and bends over to examine it, and they send Nari over to point a spear at Robin Burrows as well. Thus far, no one seems to have noticed the Fildir.
Good. Our gambit. Our tactical
The
gambit.
plan.
Yeah. Avgrim turns the body over and leans in through the mist, sort of swiping a bit of it away to look at the body, and looks at you and says, "What sorcery is this?" And
don't know,
dead
I
on the
can't-
ground, very much as you expected, is the body of Farrell.
As I told you, a creature of darkness and shadow. Here to pit your kings against one another. I am a ranger of the north and hunter of shadows and darkness. I've been doing it for over half a century. I know a creature of shadow when I hunt one. Surely you know of the rangers of the north. Even if by whispers and stories.
He doesn't really, but he looks at you like you probably mean what you say, and is willing to believe it, and looks at Robin Burrows and says, "Show us these chambers that you spoke of, then."
All right, bring your friend with the big stick there, and you'll want to use that to poke the thing because it's a bit ooh.
And Hafgrim also picks the little pouch off of the ground. And he hands the note that is in it to you, Astanon, as his now chief
Anti-shadow
chief,
guy.
yeah, anti-shadow guy, says, "Do you know what script this is?"
Would
You have
Would-
shadow law.
yeah,
you
shadow law?
probably,
Would I?
whether you
at least
can
know
read
his
it or
black
not,
speech.
yeah,
I would know
you
his
can
black
tell
speech. Wouldn't
that
I?
It's the black
black.
speech of Mordor, which I shall not utter here.
That's pretty much what Astanon was going to say. As soon as he sees the note, that's exactly what he's going to say. This is the black speech of Mordor, and I will not utter it here.
Yeah.
And I guess
Uh,
everybody knows where Mordor is and what Mordor is. I'm assuming I don't have to explain that to these guards.
No, I'm pretty sure everyone knows it.
They get a
That's
pretty
that
severe
place over there.
re-education.
Yeah. No, yeah. They're still a little suspicious and keep you all well guarded, but Afgrim leads you all on back to Farrod's chambers.
I assume
but,
they let me sheath my sword back into its sheath
Yep.
now. Lovely.
I'm not even.
they allow
holding a
you
weapon.
to keep your weapon. Thilde, are you accompanying them, or are you...
With a slight sigh, I'll put my sword back.
No
Probably bring you to
murders
the-
today.
Probably bringing the attention to the fact that I've been standing there the whole time.
Yeah. To which they're somewhat surprised.
Asanon gives a cheeky grin as if to say, had you attacked, you'd all be dead now.
Oh well.
Yeah, because the Hobbit was here.
Get out your
Absolutely.
pan.
Yeah, you failed to disarm the hobbit of his pan.
Yeah.
Always
You
dangerous.
didn't take the Hobbit's
Hobbit's
pan.
Bong, bong.
You would not deprive a small chef of his cooking aids.
Yeah, so I'll kind of get near the
That
room,
would be a very different approach to restoring Theoden. Theoden,
Oh,
I release you from the shadow. Bong.
it's all got a bit thick and bad.
So, who was next in line? Yeah. You all walk off back towards Farrell's chambers. And I think Halfgrim leaves Liff behind to look after Farrell's corpse that is still lying in the street.
I will tell them not to stand in front of on the door side of the thing when they kind of
Open, yeah, sure. Get to that in a second. But for now, we're gonna go to. Whoop.
Oh, look, there's always a plan for all of us to be there.
Yeah. Well, you never know who's gonna turn up.
Don't worry, I'll get in plenty of trouble and then you can come and rescue me.
Yeah.
Because there's at least 2 people there, so one of them is probably an evil wizard as well.
Probably the one that had the
Sigrun.
portrait.
Yeah, this one, he's the evil wizard. Kill him. Change history, I dare you.
I am 200% down for alternative histories, especially if I get to be Queen of Dale.
Oh, there you go. It's always a chance. Anyway,
Frankly, they've both shown themselves to be irresponsible leaders, so it's for the best.
I mean, you don't really know with Brand yet. He was just off fighting
Fannying about in the woods.
marauders. Yeah. You are brought to the camp of Brand and brought before him. And before you even manage to get all the way up towards where his dais has been set out, you hear him call down to you, Cousin Sigrun, why is it that I have been barred from my own city?
Well, why is it you had to turn up with an army just as I was fixing everything? It's a right bloody mess, this.
A mess?
Hey, I was
We've
hours away from winkling out whoever's been putting all this on, fixing the problem, and then you come back with open arms.
fixing what problem, cousin? I've been away fighting the marauders that were attacking the settlements near the edge of the river running. Other than that, we have had little news from Dale upon our return.
Well, it's a right mess, the short version. Barra's fallen under the influence of untrustworthy sorts. Somebody's whispering in his ear poisonous words.
That
But then you know
is
about poison, don't you?
unfortunate. I do not. But it is unfortunate to hear that Barra has fallen in with a bad crowd. How has father been dealing with the matter?
Ah. May I approach?
Of course, cousin. There's no need for you to stand on ceremony here.
So I'll go up, and if he's
Yeah.
got a drink handy, I'll pour a couple of glasses and hand him one.
Yeah, sure. Or even one of the servants
Even better.
This one over here comes and brings you a couple of drinks.
Smack it out of his hand! Shoot that guy in the face!
You could do that, yeah.
I'm not going to do that. Not yet, anyway.
He pulls you both a couple of drinks.
Cousin
Brand nods and says thank you, and hands you one of them.
I take it you don't speak the language of birds.
We have. It's still very much the the cold of winter is still upon us. There are few birds in the sky to speak with.
I was far away to the east, and a thrush came before me, carrying a message. The King of Dale is dead.
His face sort of falls.
Worse still, he has been for some weeks now.
He sort of looks at you, trying to work out whether this is some very cruel joke.
It's not.
And it clearly isn't.
I've travelled all the way across the mountains from Rivendell and beyond. Crossed the river running at the end of winter, through the Mirkwood, just to be here when I heard. And when I arrived, I hear that you've quit the city and are out in the countryside fighting raiders up from the south. And I get to the funeral procession, and there's Bara wearing a crown as Uncle Bran is put to his final rest.
This is truly ill tidings that you bring me. He
Well,
looks somewhat deflated and takes a sip of his wine.
I'm afraid it might get worse from here. There is a force of darkness working within the city of Dale. You are currently believed to be responsible for the death of the king. Bran perished from no natural means. Old he may have been, but he fell to most insidious of weapons. Poison.
No. I can't imagine anyone in the city who would have ever held ill will against my father, and definitely not enough to stoop so low as to poison him.
You know Farrell?
What? Yes. He is
Back to
my
Doma.
servant. And he looks over at the servant who just served your drinks.
Oh, in which case, yes, then the arrow is going on the string and the bow is being drawn.
Wait, does he
Farrell-
actually look like Farrell?
Let's see. Does he look like Farrell?
I mean, the portrait looks like him.
Does look very similar.
It does, yes. I just assumed you had to use like a generic.
Yeah, that's what I'd assumed as well. I mean, if he looked exactly the same,
Oh,
I'd
no.
have drawn on him much sooner than that.
Yeah.
And I would have smacked the wine out of his hand.
He seemed very like nondescript at the time when he was just handing the drinks over, and at this point he's also sort of faded in amongst the rest of the
Do
the
not
courtier.
move, betrayer, poisoner, servant of shadow.
Farrell.
This is the bow I wear, Arak, and so help me, I will strike you down with righteous thunder from the heavens if you so much as put one finger out of place.
Farrell looks at you with a slim smile on his lips, and Brand starts coughing slightly.
absolute shit stain.
See, I could do a pretty impressive.
That was
combat.
solid. Yeah, good timing. Nicely done there.
Almost on command at the moment. Yeah. And he starts leaning forwards and coughing again, trying to clear his throat a bit. Sigrun. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm feeling kind of unwell. I mean, as you both had the wine part, I'm gonna make you also test on wisdom.
Seems fair. I'm stout-hearted. What does stout-hearted mean again?
I don't know. Wait, let me look it up.
Gives me an advantage on something. Barding. Stout-hearted. Valor rolls are favoured, so not wisdom rolls. Never mind.
Oh, don't you just love sorcery?
Yep. But I'm going to use a hope
All
point.
of the successes.
I'm going to use a hope point because of my shadow law. And we've kind of got an idea of what he was doing inside.
Yeah.
So does that get me the hope point dice, or does
I
that get
will
me the
say
bonus
that
dice as
That'll
well?
give you, that will give you inspiration. So if you spend a hope point, you get 2 extra dice.
Excellent. Sweet.
Wow. Yeah.
With that extraordinary
much
success, then
dis-
I'd like to, if there's anything left over after it doesn't affect me,
Yeah.
I'll spend some of it on it not affecting him as seriously.
Yeah. You sort of his hand instinctively as he's coughing goes towards the wine again to sort of have a sip to clear his throat, and you smack it out of his reach.
Then I will absolutely shoot Farrell in the guts, whatever, you know.
Go for it.
What an asshole.
It's almost like he's some kind of villain.
I know, right? Target.
There you go. You should be able to target him now.
There. Got him targeted, you bastard. Have a bit of... Oh. Equip that. Fire!
Yeah, that's
Should I use a reroll on that? Because that was an Eye of Sauron.
It's also an
I
extraordinary
mean, it was
success.
also an extraordinary success. So
That's true. We'll take it.
did it? Did you?
Oh, you must have rolled your weapon skill, I'm guessing.
No, I
Yeah.
clicked on the bow and everything.
Strange.
It also says I won a rack on the.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did I not target him? Select targets. Target.
You did.
Yeah. Okay.
Strange.
Oh, maybe because we're not in combat time and I'm not stanced up and all that stuff.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, I put you both in combat.
Okay.
And you're on opening. Oh wait, now it'll probably work.
Okay. Do you want me to roll it again?
Yep. There you go. I'll let you re-roll that one because your initial one was a bit better.
Just a smidge. Okay. There we go. Ow. There we go. The average.
But it didn't do the damage.
No,
I still didn't do the damage, no.
no.
It did it for the middle one. It just didn't do it for that last one you just did.
Yeah.
So what
Try
can you
it
spend
now.
the extra successes on?
It is registering it when you just successes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems to get
Well, what does
confused when you get
what
more
does the
than one.
bonus successes do? Because you can just calculate it, can't you, from the original
Yeah,
roll?
that's true.
Yeah.
So, well,
So, with a bow,
if you want to use the original roll, Iweneric does 4 damage, injures on an 18.
let's see, what did you roll?
But you've got your 2 extra successes you can spend to do things, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't I want to activate a load of cool abilities when you do?
Well, so you rolled a 15 initially, right? Oh wait, no, the first one was a 25, wasn't it?
No, the first one was
No,
15.
the first
with
one
two-
was a 15. So it injures on an 18. You still have to. Yeah, you had 2 successes, but you won't be able to get up to 18. But you could do extra damage.
That's okay. Tis a fierce shot, so his defenses are ill-favoured,
Yeah.
such as they are.
Don't think that's really something he has to worry about. But
Does he have a might of 2 or more?
He does have a might of 2. Yes.
In which case, my attack roll would have been favoured.
Ah, well, there you go. Roll an
So-
extra d12 and we'll see which one's the higher.
Gotta be better than an Eye of Sauron.
yeah, I was gonna say he rolled a 1 on higher Sauron.
So a 4.
Which would take it to 18.
Which would take it to
would
18.
Yeah, so you can roll to injure him. He doesn't really have any armor, so that would be 1 dice, I believe, in my case. Just roll.
1 dice ill-favoured. Ha ha.
Yeah.
Would have gotten away with it too if it hadn't been for us meddling kids.
2d12. So that was 8. Oh no, wait. Armor is just a d6, isn't it? Right.
And it does a piercing blow on a 9+. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was the piercing blow. Wait, where's your armor? I click that, and yeah, no, it would be a 12. So yeah, you did a piercing blow. That was it, and you definitely injured him because I rolled 12. So yeah, and also you did 4 plus whatever else. Well, you don't need to add those 2 successes. You could add those to make it a powerful blow twice, so that adds your strength again, I believe.
my strength is
In
6.
endurance damage. So that'd be
12.
16 in total
16
endurance damage.
piercing endurance
and 1
damage with a wound.
Yeah. And Farrell stumbles back into the crowd with an arrow in his chest. And the crowd sort of somehow slowly disappears, well, sort of closes in around him. And he disappears from view.
Bastard.
Chase him if you want. But before you, Brand is still coughing and trying
Protect the
desperately
king!
to find it. Yep.
I think I will try and give chase, actually,
Okay.
because that's something I'm really good at.
Yeah. Sure.
So I will hunt him.
Roll to pursue him in some way. What are you
Hunting.
rolling on?
Hunting.
Yep, that seems fair. Behind you, you can hear Bran spluttering and coughing, just to keep the sound effects going. Yep.
Okay.
As he tries to disappear from the edge of this big army camp, you spot him pulling the arrow from his chest and discarding it and running towards the wilderness.
We can have another one.
Go for it.
Come on, Bo, don't fail me now. Looking good. That's an 18, so
You've
that's...
got a
Yeah, and
reroll
you got
if
a
you want
9
more than a
again.
success.
And I have got a reroll, that's true.
It's
you
supposed
got
to
a
be
9 on
favoured
the
'cause
feat
he's
die,
bad
so
or
you've
something.
already, you technically are injuring him. So I will roll again, and it's ill-favoured, right?
Yep.
We'll see.
Oh,
if
actually,
it's
my roll
even-
should have been favoured as well, so I will roll it
There you
again.
go.
And we'll stick with the first one, I guess.
Yeah, sure. The second arrow catches him in the back, and he lurches forwards and drops to the floor dead.
Couldn't even take a full Boromir.
Who can?
Never
to be
go
fair.
full Boromir.
Yeah. And as far as you're concerned, Farrold is dead.
I'll grab 2 people nearby and just tell them to drag his body back to the camp.
Yep.
I'm not going to leave it lying there because I wouldn't put it past him to get up and walk off,
They're
even though he's dead.
confused, but will do as you asked. And when you return to Brand, he's still coughing and spluttering, lying on the floor at this point with his advisors and, various of your cousins who went off to war with him, standing about
No shit.
trying to find some way to help him. One of them's crying, "Get him some water," and the other one's shouting, "No, we need a healer of some kind."
Yes, get a healer. That's what you need.
Yeah.
God, can I do anything to help him?
Uh,
I'm going to go out on a limb and
Yeah.
guess that this is probably a shadow poison of some kind.
it does seem to be poison of some kind.
Can
Only
I...
there was a ranger and an elf who have really high healing there.
I know, right? Can I insight to see what would fix it? Or does it have to be a healing to actually heal him?
You could use insight, yeah. You won't be able to heal him then, but you'll know what could
But hopefully his
potentially
war camp does have some healers. So,
heal.
all right. Insight, shadow law. Here we go. Get out, that's rubbish. I'm gonna re-roll that.
I mean, it was still a
Was that a
success.
success?
It was a success, but it was an Eye of Sauron success again, and I don't like those.
No, so it would be 3. wouldn't
Oh,
it,
that's
rather
true. It
than
was the
Ice
3.
Storm?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the 3, don't worry, it was favoured. Was
Okay.
it favoured?
I got these 2 re-rolls, and they're not going anywhere if I don't use them.
Okay, so you're pretty certain he has been poisoned, and does Sigrund have much herb lore? I doubt it, but you're pretty certain that something will have to be applied to him, some kind of poultice or medicine of some kind to help him, though it does seem like you've managed to stop him from taking a lethal dose, as he merely sipped at his wine before you cast it aside and shot Farrold. He looks at you, goes, "Sigrund, what is happening here?"
Harold was also inside the camp, inside the city. spilling poisoned words into the ear of Domar and Bara.
He's been with me as my servant since we left the city.
And he is a servant of Shadow, not of you. That means there's more than one of him. Whether it's multiple people in the same disguise or whether they're twins, I don't know. But right now, we need to get you healed.
That's appears easier said than done.
I have people who can help. Give me Farrell's body and let me right back to the city.
Then I wish you all speed. And he waves over to the rest of his entourage to allow you to take Farrell's body.
Oh, we were given
pass
some
back.
honey, weren't we, by the
You do
the
have some of
Ornings?
them. Yeah. You have some of their
Yeah,
honey
the
cakes.
hobbits got it.
Right,
Yeah.
stoke the fire. Give him one of these, soak it in water, feed it to him slowly. Warm water. In fact, boil the water first.
Okay, yes.
I will
Cousin Sigmund.
return. With a healer capable of dealing with this.
Yeah.
Diddlin, 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 diddlin.
You return to find the guards manning the entire length of the wall, as far as you can tell. What few of them there are. They all appear to be armed with bows and spears now, and are attempting to man some kind of defense in case they need to stop Brand from entering the city.
There will be no battle this day. I must bring news to Cousin Bara. We have all been deceived.
The
Open the
sergeant
damn
you
gates
spoke
now!
to before looks down and rather apologetically sort of turns, looks down and says, I'm afraid word has come that we are to bar access to the city for Sigrid, daughter of Sigrid.
What about for Farrell, the king's advisor? Because I got him here too.
Farrell was the one who brought us word. And he looks kind of surprised and shocked and once again unsure what to do.
That's Sigrid
You
in.
So you could probably persuade him to
I
let
shall
you
do.
in.
Pure force of will at this point. I'm
Yeah.
thinking Sigrid's probably absolutely shattered. Oh God, another bloody hope point.
Yeah, go for it. Spend more hope. Spend all the hope. All the hope of this age is gone. Yay, miserable. But the sergeant once again bows to your wishes. Just
Oh, I didn't realise I'd spent that much that soon. Damn.
worried about what to do in general, and says, allow Sigrid access, and the gates open, and he comes down to meet you and says, though, please do tell the court that I have only done what was in the best interest of Dale.
I'm going to do it, Lewis. I'm going to do the thing you've been trying to get Dan to do this whole time.
What?
I'm going to take a shadow scar so I can clear all of my shadow. Well, otherwise I'm not going to be able to do anything because I'll be miserable, and a
Yeah.
miserable Sigrun is a Sigrun that cannot achieve a single damn thing.
Go for it.
I know.
Turn your shadow points into one single shadow scar.
It's not like I can spell fellowship points now, is it? We're in the middle of stuff.
Sigrun's face hardens against whatever cruel darkness has been set against her family, and her will is stone. And Isildir is just like, nah, I'll just keep taking the shadow, and eventually murder everyone.
If I could have spent the fellowship points at that point, I would have done, but need to remain operational. So,
yeah. Okay. And you now have access again to the city. Astenon, Isildir, and Robin.
Hello there.
Hello. You
That's not how
lead
it's done, of course.
half Grim and the others to the chambers and reveal this strange statue to them, along with the note and the token and the fact that this is Farrell's official chambers. They seem fairly convinced that something is afoot here. And Half Grim says, "For now, you're free to go about your business, but I have to report this all to the king.
You
We'll
should
see
right
to it
away.
that Farrell's body is taken before him. May I have the objects as well as proof?"
He's already
Yeah.
got possession
Yeah.
of them, I think.
Yeah, I know.
He gave them to Astenon, but Astenon returns them.
Yeah.
Says, under no circumstances are you to put this on, wear it, or take it out as much as... Keep it as hidden as possible.
or give it to the elf.
Do not give it to Leo. I'm already hiding one dark item from the elf. You can't have another dark item.
No more dark
Quick,
items for the elf.
Give him the statue.
If we stack all the dark items on the elf and he just explodes,
Yeah.
Will certainly become a dark elf.
Also, at some point, I feel like you should just be walking the streets of Dale, and like, Isildir crosses by a dwarf who happens to be holding a big sword. So,
Hey, I know that sword. That
wait a
statue,
minute.
can it be destroyed? Do we think we can destroy it?
You could try to destroy it.
Well, first off, I'm going to use insight, and use shadow law, and do a point of hope, because I want to see if Ashton wants to like sort of not get too close. Don't want to study it because I don't want to think. But he's kind of going to think back to like sort of books he's read and stuff like that about shadow, and see if like if it kind of matches anything, and if it can be destroyed by basic means. In other words, hitting it really hard with a sword.
Yeah.
A great success.
There you go. As far as you can tell from things you've read of the past, not actually places you've seen or been, there is some word in the histories of people who have been there of dark guardian statues in the depths of Angmar or Minas Morgul that possess some measure of the dark will to resist allowing people to pass who have no loyalty to the Lord, the Dark Lord himself. And this appears to be something similar on a smaller scale, perhaps. How to destroy it, there's not much on that, but you could just try bashing it with something and hoping it breaks.
Sure, let's try bashing it with something.
I step out of the room.
Yeah, I mean, Astonon's not feeling overtly liking the idea of being this close to it, but what should I roll? What would it be? Athletics, maybe? Because I'm trying to put strength into something with a heavy
would
object.
say athletics.
Yeah, I'm not using my actual sword to do this because I don't want to damage my sword, so I probably found a nearby blacksmith and got a sledgehammer or something.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens here. Let's do this. We can do this. Success! Do I smash it?
Yeah. So what? You smack it with a hammer.
Yeah, I put we kind of probably use a spear thing to knock it on the floor while it's covered up with a blanket,
Yeah.
and take a big old
And
sledgehammer and smash.
The moment your hammer touches it, the world around you seems to stop, and both you, the hammer, and the statue are locked in this moment of a battle of wills. As you can almost feel the ruby eyes upon you, and you can take a valor test as you try to overpower it and
this
crush
is
it.
this is a shadow test, isn't it? Right?
Yep, this is a shadow
I get my
test, so
bonus.
you have your bonus dice, and it's on valor
Okay.
because it's less of a sorcery test and more of like a battle of wills and dread.
When do you start being miserable? Is it when your hope matches? shadow?
When your shadow matches your hope, your
Okay, so
current hope.
We're okay for the moment. So I'll spend
If
it up.
your shadow ever reaches your maximum hope, then you start having real problems.
A success.
That's a success, yeah. How many successes? So,
Do I need to re-roll that? That was a pretty poor roll, wasn't it?
yeah, I was going to say it's 2 shadow points, so you'll
Okay,
pick up 1, but you will
I'm-
destroy it.
I'm gonna re-roll that. Come on, dice. Be good to me. Oh no. It's much worse. It's much worse.
That is much worse. Instead of destroying it as you try to overpower the dark will within this statue, it in turn gazes upon you, and you're flung back against the wall of the chamber. You pick up 2 shadow points.
Deep sigh.
And the statue is as yet unbroken, and you're hurled back, and I'll give you 2 points of endurance damage as well as you smack into the wall.
Knowing what
by
he needs to
some
do,
unknown force.
he's gonna try and do it again.
Go for it.
He can't stand the shadow to be here, though. I am gonna end up being miserable after this.
I mean, if you want, Ithildir can just pick it up and like
Join the dark
swaddle
side.
it, cold
Just
it,
lick it.
hold it, stroke it a bit.
No.
It's safe. Ithildir's just standing there watching and laughing.
This is a valor roll again, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'll both be emo together.
Oh, when I spent my hope, should I be inspired for the fact that it's shadow law?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't do
So
that
that's
last time.
2.
Yeah.
So just roll 1d6 then, because that would add to the other roll.
Oh, okay. Let me roll that
Right.
first. Yeah, let's do / roll 1d6. Yeah, because I forgot about
Because if you get a 3 or more, that will actually turn into a success.
That would be a success then.
that. Okay, so
So try it again.
yeah, so we're now
completely.
try it again
Yeah.
completely. God, this is gonna be one of those.
Still got one more reroll
Halfgrim,
as well.
Halfgrim and the rest of the guards are also
Oh!
deeply distressed.
There we go.
You're miserable as
I am
well,
now
but that
miserable.
was a fantastic
Extraordinary success.
Yeah.
So he like sort of failed the first time, kind of shrugs it off a little bit, knowing full well that this needs to be destroyed, and he kind of puts all of his will and everything that he's ever like sort of known about hunting shadow, and puts that will to destroy shadow into this blow, and brings the hammer down and
It
hopefully destroys it.
obliterates into 1,000 tiny shards, and even the ruby red eyes shatter and form like 100 tiny crystals along the floor, and the thrum of dark will that was in the room dissipates completely, and within the very center you find a little vial of something hidden within that remains unbroken.
I mean,
But you're also now miserable. So-
Yeah. Astrodon has kind of pushed himself to his
you
limits at
did
this
pick
point.
up 1 shadow point the first. Well, 2 shadow points. the
2
first
shadow
time.
points, yeah, because I
So-
failed miserably.
Yay.
Yeah, that's why I moved up the.
Poke my head round the door. Everything all right?
Now you can see like he's visibly. This is probably quite telling because he's not. You've never seen him look tired before.
Yeah.
It's not like there's a tiredness about him, as a sort of a sullenness.
He's
to
got a
his
bit
mood.
of an Ithilda.
That was your Aragon Palantir moment, yeah.
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 Cool.
Very much so. You look worn and drawn out.
Yeah.
As you
Every
were
single one
very-
of those 80 years.
Yeah. You were very aware of the battle of wills between you and the statue, even if no one else could sense it.
Mm-hmm.
And now that that weight is gone, you're exhausted beyond all measure. And there's also still a heavy weight of shadow upon your soul.
Take the scar, Dan. Take the scar.
Absolutely not. I'll find time to rest and use the fellowship point. Because I only need to use one to get me back up to Hope 5. But no, yeah, so he does that, and then is there like a big fire nearby we can cast the scraps into?
There's a fire in the room, so you
Yeah.
could
The whole
you
lot
could
get.
light the fire and throw everything in there.
Yeah.
Are you including in that the little vial?
Little vial, yeah, but we're not touching it though. So
Oh, wait, that might be an antidote.
yeah, sure it is.
All the evidence of poison.
Yeah.
It goes in the fire. It's all darkness and shadow. And we all know that shadow can only be beaten by light.
There you go. You see the little vial with the little liquid of whatever it was
Cast it
inside
into the fire!
burn up in a sudden flame, and like the splintered pieces of stone and rubies also somehow catch alight and burn to ashes.
Good to know that we're better than Isildur.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not so much with rings. You've still got one of those. You haven't cast that into any flames yet.
It's because it's not evil. It's only a magic ring.
Not taking Robin Burrows' agency from him.
But yes, that's it. And sort of Astanon sort of wearily, like, looks like he's to everyone else. He looks like he's been, like a 2-hour, 3-hour fight battle that to all of you only saw seemed like a few seconds. He was trying to hit a hammer, but for him, he's probably been in a fight that's his mind been hours. Battle of wills, and he's tired.
Halfgrim says, we must bring this all before the king.
I think you should, because I think this fellow is behind the whole thing with the other king. Sorry, my knowledge of your kings ain't great, but the old king, I think they were poisoned by that chap down there. I'll say, gesturing to where Dan killed the other guy.
Yeah.
And you don't want him fighting his brother,
Indeed,
because they
we
should
must
be
stop
on the
this
same
war.
side against the shadow, not fighting each other.
That's what the shadow wants.
Bara will perhaps not be easily convinced, but we certainly have damning proof enough. I can only thank you for saving us from what could have potentially been a far worse situation. And
Well,
I apologise for our hostility.
Well,
It was
Don't
understandable.
worry, I'll say, lighting up my pipe.
Are you accompanying Halfgrim towards the king?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, I guess we all will. And also, Astanon figures that's probably the safest place to have a rest at the moment. He feels weary.
So, Ifildir, Astanon, and Robin, you join Halfgrim and a couple of the guards as they head towards the court.
Are we bringing the corpse with us? I assume we're bringing the corpse with us.
Yeah, probably the corpse
Yeah, I think the guards was
The
bringing the corpse. weren't they?
pouch with the dark script and stuff.
That'd be
And,
fun. We can meet there and I'm bringing a corpse as well. Same corpse.
the same corpse. Well, this
And
is
there's another one
interesting.
as well.
Allegedly, yes.
Exactly the same number of black Numenorians that we encountered last time.
Yeah.
I
Hope
wasn't
they're not involved in any way.
That'd be unfortunate, wouldn't it, if it was them?
Yeah. That would kind of imply that I'd set up some kind of long-term evil.
Long-term evil foreshadowing.
Yeah. In any event.
But yeah,
So
Sigrun has worked that out. Nobody told me anything there, so I figured Sigrun's probably able to work that out as well.
I think Sigrun, you meet Halfgrim, Astanon, Ithildir, and Robin as you're heading towards the royal court of King Bara. So you have time to discuss amongst yourselves how you're going to approach the situation.
I'll show them
And
the body
also
of Farrell.
potentially discuss how best to save King Brand.
Yeah, I guess at this
Well,
point,
potential King Brand.
I guess at this point, like, Sigrid would tell myself and Ithildir. So can I?
I do need one of you to go. I need one of you to go to Brand's camp and work your best healing on him. He's been poisoned by Farrell.
Can we make a healing roll here based on Sigrun's insight check to see if we need to?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, it needs a
Was it
poultice. I left him with some honey cakes to be
Was it the
dissolved
same-
in warm water. It was the same Farrell. I've got him right here.
No, what I mean is, was it the same poison that one was using as that one was using?
Don't know. Don't know what happened with the king and how he passed, but we'll
Did
find
it
out.
smell like this? I'll hand him the sample that I still have in my
In your cup.
flask.
It
I
definitely smells like the same poison.
Do I have to do this every bloody time? I'll take my. I am no man.
Yeah.
Both of you, honestly.
I've successfully done a healing roll.
Yeah. You have an idea of a potential cure.
Is it apples?
It
Kings were high, the
involves
weed.
not quite aphlis, but there is a golden-leaved flower that grows near the barrows of the first Northmen. Well, the first lords of the Northmen around Dale, and also around the barrows of damn it, Bard and Bane now.
Do I remember seeing this flower when we were
Yep.
part of the funeral
Yeah,
procession?
it was definitely around the. Yeah, because it was around the tombs and crypts, and it's known for its healing properties in clearing the blood of infections or poisons.
Okay. Then,
And
in
that
which
seems
case,
like your best bet.
Astanon will make immediate haste, knowing from the
Yep.
description that has been given, and make all haste for the other
Yeah.
king.
Technically, the rightful king.
Yeah, I mean, he is the rightful heir, firstborn son and whatnot, but sometimes there's a better king. Astanon's not here for that. Astanon's just been told by Sigrun to go and heal her cousin, so that's what he's going to go do, even though he's miserable as hell and wanted a rest.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna have a nap, but now I've got to go visit some barrows.
Yeah. And I will use Swift, my distinctive feature, Swift, to move with good pace.
Okay. I will let you run out of the city, pursuing the flowers on the tombs of Sigrun's ancestors. And what the rest of you gonna do?
And see Bara dump these two dead Farrells in front of him.
Yeah.
They spot the difference.
As you approach the king's court, you find like 2 rows of guards sort of forming a hedge either side of you, and they allow you and Halfgrim, all of you and Halfgrim to pass. But Halfgrim looks uneasy and turns to you all as you pass between them and says, none of these are men that I have served with or know of. And with that, you walk in towards the court of King Bara, and Astanon is like full on Aragon running down the hillside towards the barrows. And with that, we'll zoom out of Dale again, and bring this episode to a close. So yeah, thank you again, everyone, for watching, and thank you for playing. Next week will probably be the last episode, so definitely tune in for that as we finally unveil the threat against the Bardings, and finish off the ballad of those very Bardings. What else is coming up on Garblag this week, next week, and all other weeks?
Coriolis on Tuesday.
Deathwatch on Wednesday.
Deathwatch Wednesday.
Yeah,
Back here again for Thursday.
sounds pretty good.
Nothing directly in North America at the minute that I'm aware of, but what there is on Lollygaggers.
Yeah. Who also have, it's finished now as far as I know, their own ginormous wealth of the One Ring episodes on their Waking of Angmar campaign. Yeah.
Patreon, YouTube, subbing,
Discord.
All of those things. If we don't say them and Pete finds out, he will send us to Baradum and will be tortured by orcs for centuries. So please do those things.
Either that or
if
he'll
you
sing and we'll wish
Yeah.
we'd been sent to Barad-dûr to be tortured by.
No, the
Yeah.
singing will be the torture.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is part of the. Just imagine orcs singing at you for eternity. It's kind of like that.
I don't know. I
but
think
for-
they'd be quite good in a deep a cappella type.
I
Yeah.
can't imagine any kind of singing will
But,
make
like,
whose sword is
you
that
know,
sword good.
That's all right. The first 5 minutes, but after the first half hour, I reckon it starts grating on your nerves, and then as the days turn into months, just madness that way lies. Yeah. So thank you everyone for joining us. We have been Garblag Games, and we'll see you next week for the finale.
Dun dun dun.
Good night.